As an arson dog, Zeta is constantly trained to keep up her skills. For veterans, being out in nature can be a tranquil experience. Quiet in nature and the stillness help with their anxieties. Over 200 students participate in the piano program. But for students in the digital music program, this is the perfect instrument. Yes, we're taking a look at the balance of power across the U.S. Senate. We're going to be focusing on 4 major states across the country. Those are Pennsylvania, Ohio, Georgia, and Arizona. And Republicans flipped 2 congressional seats in the state, keeping Arizona firmly in the purple. In Phoenix, Sydney Witte, Cronkite News. Today could be your chance to become a billionaire. The Powerball jackpot has been growing for 3 months, and it's now the biggest lottery prize ever. This year, there are nearly 80 food vendors at the Arizona State Fair. If you're hungry, you can find anything from the flaming hot corn dog to crepes. But we found one vendor who's bringing culture to the table. Preparing for the day, these Glendale firefighters never know what kind of situation they might be called into next.
Pick someone off the ground, or they have a broken arm, small rock that goes in the backpack. Some of those bigger rocks are the drownings, are the pediatric calls. The calls where a family member is literally wailing with just pure anguish from the loss of one of their family members. That sound sticks with you as a big rock in your backpack.
Ashley Losh is a captain with the Glendale Fire Department, and after a traumatic call over a decade ago, she realized something wasn't right.
When I recognized that it wasn't going away, I reached out to one of our peer support team members and just said, I think something's going on and I need to talk.
She reached out to a coworker in the peer support program, which was started by Glendale Fire 3 years ago, to help those struggling with the darker side of their job.
Whether that's after high-stress incidents here at work with drownings, trauma codes, just traumatic incidents that people aren't supposed to see.
The peer program consists of fellow Glendale firefighters and has a casual approach. Team members can call or text each other before and after calls to talk about anything that's on their mind. Upward of 25% of the department uses the peer support team, and one place that they can find support is in the kitchen, where they can take a seat and have a conversation.
To be able to be strong enough to want to talk about it and change our culture from within, to have more open dialogue about our mental health.
The department says that without stress relief, they wouldn't be able to do their job.
You're not going to be able to function, and you're not going to be able to serve the public, and ultimately that's what we're here to do, is make sure we're here for the public on their worst day.
These firefighters understand that when they're called to help, they can't be on their worst day. In Glendale, Sydney Witte, Cronkite News. For more than 25 years, Rosie's House has allowed students to find a voice in music. But it's only been for the last few years that they've turned up the volume on their digital music program, which is attracting a new generation of artists to the power of music. When you think of songwriting, classical instruments may come to mind. But in this class, students like Josh Correa produce and play music with the click of a button.
Since I already know how to play piano, I can kind of use it to my advantage.
In the digital space, they can manipulate and arrange hundreds and, you could say, even up to thousands of different sounds in a way to make their own composition and be a creative person.
The digital music program at Rosie's House allows students to connect with music through rhythm, melody,
hear that little buzzy sound,
and form. It's something teacher Jacob Unterreiner wishes he had access to when he was in school.
very much felt like there wasn't a space for me to sort of belong or express the things that I wanted to express musically.
Rosie's House mission is to eliminate barriers to music education. They offer free music classes to kids in underserved communities.
Why is that?
There are over a handful of different classes to choose from, but it's up to the students to decide which one they connect with most.
Bravi tutti.
Over over 200 students participate in the piano program. But for students in the digital music program, this is the perfect instrument.
The computer is their instrument. It's their instrument to create with, right? But the muse and the inspiration still comes from within.
Thanks to a new grant, more than 15 digital music students get to use state-of-the-art equipment for their creative process. For Josh, this class is a place to let go and unwind.
I honestly look forward to having a time to just make music because it's like a great way for me to kind of get away from everything and just like relax.
Whether they find the beat here or here, Rosie's House is a place where students learn music and lifelong skills.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Rosie's House is the largest provider of free music and after-school programs in the nation, and they put on more than 50 concerts a year. In the newsroom, Sydney Witte, Cronkite News. As an arson dog, Zeta is constantly trained to keep up her skills. In fact, she went through a 6-week training program in Virginia to get certified back in 2019.
And show me. Let's get that hand. Oh, show me.
David Zaring is a Gilbert fire investigator and handler to Zeta, the only ATF certified dog in Arizona. On this day, he's preparing the warehouse for morning training.
Let's see if this works.
By dripping accelerants like gasoline and lighter fluid onto different surfaces for Zeta to find.
Just put a little bit right there on that sleeve.
She knows it's time to start sniffing when she hears the words,
You want to go to work?
Even though Zeta is assigned to the Gilbert Fire Department, she's been helping fire departments across the country and locally for the past few years. After a fire, if arson is suspected, Zeta is called in to quickly locate any accelerants that may have caused it.
Because of her nose and being able to go right in and pinpoint where that accelerant is at, it just multiplies the success rate for that investigator to be able to send it into the crime lab to get a positive alert on that sample.
Zeta was certified as an ATF dog in 2019, but she still trains twice a day for 365 days a year in order to maintain her skills.
When she walks up, she will zigzag because she's checking both sides of the steps. Every training that we do is going to be like what we would work in a fire scene. So when we get there, it's not a surprise to her. She's going to know exactly how she needs to perform in order to get that task done.
She has investigated about 80 fires over the past 3 years. Thanks to her nose, cases have been solved quickly and efficiently.
Good girl.
Zeta was called out to Chicago during 2020 and worked 26 fires in 9 days. In the newsroom, Sydney Witte, Cronkite News.